You do it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. After you see me walk across the wire 2 or 3 times, do you believe I can walk across the wire? Yes or no? Raise your hand if you believe I can do it. All right, I say I'm better than that. Watch this. I grab a bicycle, I take my bike, I put it on the wire. I get the tires balanced, I put my foot on the pedal. Once I get it balanced, I start pedaling. Now the bike's doing this, but I'm riding the bike on the wire. And I make it across. And I turn around and I ride the bike back. And I make it. And everybody's holding their breath. But after I do this 2 or 3 times and you watch me ride the bike across the wire, do you believe I can ride the bike across the wire? Raise your hand. Say, now I'm better than that. Watch this. I grab this huge basket. I tie the basket onto the handlebars of the bike. I put my bike back on the wire. I put my foot on the pedal. Now this time it's wobbling and it's shaking, but before I take off, I look up, I say, get in. How many of you will get inside the basket as I pedal across the wire? Raise your hand. Why will you not get inside my basket? You don't trust me, do you? You believe I can do it. You saw me do it, but you're not going to get in there, because when you get inside my basket, guess what? You aren't in control of anything. Right? You are now trusting me in that basket. But Allah says, get in Allah's basket. I got this. I got your heartbeat, I got your head, I got everything. I'm doing everything for you. Let me show you what I mean, if you take 1 step to me, I come running. You come running, I'll come. You do anything. Let me show you how this works. Trust me. No fear. I got this. But we do not want to get in Allah's basket. Right? We watch Allah do everything. He created all this wonderful, wow, whoa, holy cow, I ain't getting in your basket. No way. But Allah tells you to get in His basket. You want to be free? Get in Allah's basket. How many of you can do 10 hours for the sake of Allah? 1 career. 10 hours. Trust Allah. MashaAllah. Takbir. May Allah bless you and protect you. Give you the best in this life and the hereafter. Everybody say Ameen. Another Qur'an for 10 hours. 1 more person. 10 hours. Sister, MashaAllah in the back. May Allah bless her. Takbir. May Allah bless you, protect you, give you the best in this life and the hereafter. All the sisters say Ameen. That was the first sister who raised her hand. You may have all given, but you didn't raise your hand. So she gets all the ajr. But she's leading with her takbir. Anybody else? Another sister for 10 hours. We have 1. Do we have another sister? Another brother for 10 hours? Come across here. Anybody over here want any ajr? Hasana? Jannah? Send your mother, your wife, your daughter to Jannah. Anybody? 10 hours? Another brother? MashaAllah. Takbir. We have another brother. May Allah bless him, protect him. Give him the best in this life and the hereafter. Everybody say Ameen. Another 10. We have 3. Give me 1 more and I'll go down. Last one. Last person for 10 hours. 1 more come here. MashaAllah. Takbir. May Allah bless you. You said 10, right? Alhamdulillah. May Allah bless you and protect you. How many of you can all do 5 hours? That's basically $12.50, so it's $100 a month. MashaAllah, we have 1. How many can do 5 hours? Raise your hand. 5 legal hours. MashaAllah, we have a sister. May Allah bless you, sister, protect you, give you the best in this life and hereafter. Everybody say Ameen for the sister. Ameen. Do you have anybody else? We have 2 for 5 hours. We have number 3. Alhamdulillah. Who'll be number 4? Don't yawn, I almost counted that. Who'll be number 4? For 5 hours. Anybody? 5 hours. Last call. Sisters, 5 hours. Brothers, 5 hours. Alhamdulillah. How many I want to just finish all the fundraising now. 2 hours. That's $500. Can we get 3 or 4 people to do 2 hours if you haven't already donated? 2 hours? Two sisters? 2 hours? Anybody? Alhamdulillah. Well, we'll ask for the 2 and 1 hours after Linda speaks. But whatever you can do tonight, alhamdulillah, may Allah put the ajr and the barakah in it. But do it with good niyyah, intention, because Allah puts the barakah based on your intention, and it can put the barakah in it for all of us. When we finish tonight, whatever, before you leave, there's a table inside the masjid here. There's a box on the table that we need everybody to put their pledge cards in, even if you can't write the check or fulfill the thing with your credit card tonight. Fill out the pledge card and leave it in that box before you leave tonight, so we understand whatever we happen tonight is in writing. With that, I want to stop talking and invite Sister Linda to come up here with a brief introduction, because she hasn't done anything in her life that's relevant. All we want to do is just read a small little bio here. Named as one of the 500 most influential Muslims in the world, Sister Linda Sarsour, award-winning radical justice civil rights activist, a community organizer that every Islamophobe's nightmare and mother of three, Palestinian Muslim American, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. She's the former executive director of the Arab American Association of New York, co-founder of the first Muslim online organizing platform called Empower Change. She was one of the national co-chairs of the largest single-day protest in U.S. history, the Women's March on Washington. She's recognized and awarded as a champion of change by the Obama administration. She's got the Fortune 500, one of the 50 greatest leaders, and Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in the world, 2017. Please welcome Sister Linda Sarsour.
Assalamu alaikum. I am very deeply honored and humbled to be here with all of you and so many wonderful people who I've recognized, and many of folks from my village. I'm Palestinian for many of you. Brother Khalid already told you I was Palestinian. I've seen some of my village people out here in this part of Florida. I am here because I support the work of the Muslim Legal Fund of America, and I want to share with you kind of where we are right now, because sometimes I'm not sure if the Muslims really understand the kind of political context that we're in, and I think Brother Khalid really focused a lot on the work of the Muslim Legal Fund, why the Muslim Legal Fund, the type of cases the Muslim Legal Fund works on. But I wanted to give you like where we are right now as Muslim Americans. 2017 happens, the inauguration of Donald Trump, and lots of the cases that Brother Khalid spoke to you about happened under the Bush administration and under the Obama administration, and continue now under the Trump administration. So I want to make it clear that we've been going through this for a very long time. Except now we have a fascist in office. This is one of the most dangerous presidents that this country has ever seen, and an extremely dangerous president for Muslim Americans. There's a lot of things, sisters and brothers, that have happened in the last few years, and many of us are busy. We have jobs, some of us are students, we go to school, we're business owners, we are taking care of our families. We don't necessarily are always paying attention to the things that happen on a daily basis in these United States of America, especially at the hands of this administration. And so I don't fault the Muslim community for that. I'm a person that pays attention every single hour of every single day on behalf of the Muslim American community. We pay attention to what's happening because we want to ensure that we know what's happening, so we know how to act to defend our communities under this administration. Since this administration has been in office, during the 2016 election, this president said this: we are going to end all Muslim immigration to the United States of America. That's what the president said. I didn't say that. And 1 week after the inauguration of Donald Trump, what happened? The Muslim ban. And we could argue, and many people have argued this and said, Sister Linda, how is it a Muslim ban when it's only 6 Muslim majority countries on the list? And here's my question, sisters and brothers. How many Muslim majority countries have to be on the list? 14? 25? 27? 29? Do we have to wait till Bangladesh is on the list, and Pakistan is on the list, and Jordan is on the list, and Egypt is on the list for us to say enough is enough? Many of us, my dear sisters and brothers, will go home tonight to our families. Beautiful children were playing in the back. But we have Yemeni fathers in our communities who cannot go home to their children tonight. Iranian fathers, Libyan families who are separated, Syrian families who are separated. Sisters and brothers, the people of Syria are displaced all across the Middle East and Europe and may not be ever able to return back to Syria, and I pray that they do. But in these current conditions, they are living in some of the most atrocious refugee camps. And our country, home to refugees, is telling Syrian refugees who are literally trying to flee the very terrorism that this country claims to fight, and we're saying, no, not you. You can't come to this country. This administration took office and said and declared, and our president declared, that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel on the watches of the Muslim people. Moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem on the watches of the Muslim people, on the watches of our communities. During this administration's reign, sisters and brothers, we dropped the mother of all bombs in 2017 on Afghanistan, on the watches of the American Muslim community here in this country. There's a war in Yemen, a Saudi-led war in Yemen that we as the United States of America are complicit in. Imagine those beautiful Yemeni children. Over 80,000 Yemeni children have died because of what's happening in Yemen, and we as the United States of America are complicit. Sisters and brothers, so many bad things have happened under this administration. Things that impact us as Muslims and we don't realize it. When the administration ended a program for undocumented children, you know how there's many Muslim families who came to America on a visitor's visa, could not return back home to their lands. They brought their children here when they were 2 years old or 3 years old or 12 years old, went to public school, and now they want to go to college, and they're undocumented. And so what the Obama administration did is they gave them legal protections and gave them work authorization so they can work and be able to go to school and university in this country. And this administration came in and said, we're ending this program, and we're going to take back those legal protections from 1 million undocumented students, many of which are from our communities. Children at the borders, literally being stripped from their mother's arms. I want you to imagine that for a minute. Many of us are children of immigrants. We came here to flee political persecution, police states, poverty, to find a better chance here in this country. And these young people and mothers and fathers are coming here from Central America based on our U.S. policies. And when they get to the border, a mom has a baby in a stroller, they take the baby from the mom and they throw the children in cages in this country with our taxpayer dollars. This is the evilness of this administration. If we knew that any other country caged children, we would say how bad and evil those people are. You don't think people around the world are looking at us as the American people and say, you are evil people, silent people watching this bad things happen, and you're just allowing it to happen. Sisters and brothers, a lot of times people will say, and there's many things, I can sit here till next month and tell you all the bad things about this administration. They have employed every single Islamophobe, that CARE and the Muslim Legal Fund of America and all the Muslim organizations, the people we've been working against for the last 17 years, all got jobs in the White House. All of them. Stephen Miller, Chris Kobach, who wrote the Muslim ban bill, Steve Bannon. These are people that we know very well. Pamela Geller gets invited to the White House. Bridget Gabriel from Act for America, the largest anti-Muslim organization in America. She gets invitations to the Christmas party. So all the people that we've been fighting against as a Muslim community all have access to the power in this country. So when people see me, they say, oh, mashallah, Sister Linda is an activist. And I reject that statement on its own. Sisters and brothers, I'm not just an activist, I'm a Muslim. When we think about what activism is and what it means to stand up and defend your rights and to stand up for the most broken and marginalized people, this is what our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, did. And so when I think about what are we teaching our young people about the seerah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, I hope that we're teaching our beloved Prophet in context of today. Because in today's time, our young people should know that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, was a human rights activist. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, when you look for him in our seerah, where was he? amongst the widows, amongst those that were the most broken. He never was around and looking to be in proximity to the most powerful people. He wanted to be amongst those that needed the most mercy, sisters and brothers. And that's where we as Muslims should be, not just for Muslims, for all people in our society. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, also was an environmental justice activist. So we hear a lot now, we see on TV, the kids are saying our planet is dying and we need to fight for climate justice. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad taught us that Allah blessed us with the trees, with the oceans and the lakes, and we need to take care of the things that are around us. These are blessings, sisters and brothers. So when we hear our young people talking about environmental justice, this is not an issue outside of the Muslim community. This is core to who we are as Muslims. When I think about some of the fights that you see on television when the teachers are striking or they close down the school districts or nurses are striking, our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Pay the worker before the sweat on his forehead dries." Our beloved Prophet Muhammad was a workers' rights activist. He believes that workers should be compensated for their labor. So when we think about today in 2019 and who we are and who we're trying to emulate as Muslim Americans, we don't need to say, oh, we want to be like this one or we want to be like this one. We have our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, to be our example. Many times when I go to either to interfaith events, and we have a lot of our imams that do great work with Christian sisters and brothers and Jewish sisters and brothers and Buddhists and all other peoples of faith, and the imams will stand up and say, Islam is a religion of peace. And that's true. Of course Islam is a religion of peace, sisters and brothers. But what's more important about Islam that we have to explain to other people of faith and people of no faith is that Islam is also a religion of justice. And you cannot have peace without justice. Which is why we need organizations like the Muslim Legal Fund of America. Let me give you just 2 stories before we all join together for dinner. And I'm going to share personal stories with you, which is why I come and I travel with the Muslim Legal Fund of America. A couple of years ago, I was at ISNA, the ISNA convention, and it was in Chicago. And I was invited to be the keynote speaker at the luncheon. So I went to the luncheon, I gave a speech, and I shared a hadith that I've heard Imam say about 1,000 times, and I'm sure when I say it here today, you will say that you have heard it before. And I said that once there was a man who asked our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, what is the best form of jihad or struggle? And I was very smart. I knew I was being recorded. I translated the word jihad to struggle. And then I said that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, said that the best form of jihad or struggle is a word of truth to a tyrannical ruler. This is a hadith. This is something that's been said, and I was saying it in the context of saying that under an administration like Trump, we as Muslims need to stand up and speak truth to power and not be afraid. And that was the context. Everything was fine. I went back home to New York. There was an organization that found the video that was public, it was online, took the video, made smooth edits. It was about maybe 44 seconds. And what happened was, on Monday morning when I woke up in New York, my phone had about 100 text messages. Sister Linda, are you okay? Sister Linda, where are your children? Sister Linda, are you safe? Do you need anything? And I really didn't, to be honest, I didn't know what happened. I didn't know why all these people were calling and texting me. And then I said to myself, well, if all these people know something, there's only one source of information. It must be online. So I went to Twitter, and there I saw my face. I was like the trending topic on top of Twitter internationally. Linda Sarsour trending #1, #2 trending, jihad. And I knew exactly what happened. The son of the President of the United States of America, now listen how high this goes in this country right now. The entire right-wing media, pundits, right-wing Zionists, lawyers, everybody was saying that I should be arrested for treason because I was calling for a holy war against the President of the United States of America. Imagine that, sisters and brothers. Imagine me an American Muslim mother, political activist, being arrested in this country for basically speaking and preaching my faith that had nothing to do with the President of the United States, that had nothing to do with calling or inciting violence. It was very clear what I was saying. And so, of course, you know our Muslim community, very afraid. They started calling me and said, Sister Linda, you should write a statement. Sister Linda, you should apologize. You should say that you could use better words. Sister Linda, this is not, you know, there's a lot of ways to get out of this. And I said to them, thank you very much for calling me. Very good brothers that I know from our community that have done a lot for our community. And I'm not going to lie to you, sisters and brothers, I refuse to apologize. I refuse to write a statement saying that I could have used better words. You know why? Because the words that I used was the words of our beloved Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. And I was not going to start a precedent in the Muslim community that anytime somebody shares a hadith from our beloved Prophet Muhammad, that we're going to go start apologizing for our deen. Because we as Muslim sisters and brothers, we do not tell any other faith group how to practice their faith. We will not allow anybody to tell us how to practice our faith. And the reason why I felt some courage also is because I know if something bad happened to me, I could call the Muslim Legal Fund of America. And they're going to come and they're going to have my back and they're going to defend me. And that's the importance of organizations like the Muslim Legal Fund of America. Don't ever feel immune that something or a situation can't happen to you. I'm going to give you one more example, because this is actually from Florida and it has something to do with me. How far is Broward County from here? Are we in Broward County? So I'm in Broward County right now. Let me tell you about Broward County and what's my connection to Broward County. About a year ago, many of you remember there was a horrific shooting that happened in a Pittsburgh synagogue, where a white supremacist walked into a synagogue and killed 11 innocent Jewish people. The day before the white supremacists went and shot 11 innocent Jewish worshippers, there was a guy from Broward County named Caesar Sayak that was sending pipe bombs to the homes of people who he believed were in opposition to Donald Trump. That's what he was doing. So the shooting happens on Saturday, and then on Monday, I'm working from home, because I work from home now for safety reasons. And about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I get a knock on my door. And I go look out the window and I see two white men wearing flannel shirts, puff jackets, jeans, and white sneakers. And I'm talking to a friend on the phone, and I said to my friend, I don't know why there's these two men outside. So she says to me, don't open the door. And so I looked out the window again and I saw that there was a company in New York called Con Edison that was doing some construction. So there was about 4 other gentlemen that were also right in front of my house, where they can see exactly who's on my front doorstep. So I told my friend, listen, there's construction happening outside. And to be honest with you, and for those of you who are Arab, you'll understand my sentiment here. I was really nosy. I really wanted to know who these men were, and it would have killed me later if they would have walked away and I would have never figured out who they were and why they were at my door. So I said to my friend, I'm going to open the door. And she said, okay, if you want to open the door, put me on speakerphone. And I want to make sure, just in case anything happens, at least I can be with you. I opened the door and I said, how can I help you? They said, are you Linda Sarsour? I said, who are you? They said, we are the New York State FBI. I'm not going to lie to you, sisters and brothers, I felt like 5,000, like pounds, just all of a sudden I started getting that thing in your stomach, you know, even though I know for a fact that I'm 100% innocent. I don't engage in criminal activity. I'm the kind of person that pays more taxes than I have to because I'm so afraid of the government and the ways in which the government treats Muslim Americans in the justice system. That's me, straight as a line. But subhanAllah, I got really concerned. So what did I say to them? Of course, after I saw their badges, I saw their IDs, and I was able to verify that they were